been a very long time. Various reasons for that, but decided today to give it a wee shot. I'm on day one of what I'm going to call a micro-residency. I've sent the family away so I can work. We're going to paint this one today, and I've tried to set it up so you can see the palette as well as the canvas, because I know in the past people have said, kind of want to see what you're doing down there, how are you mixing the colours, how are you doing that, so tried to set it up that way, and also set it the other way around this time for a wee change. Working on quite a wee canvas today. I always seem to be short of wee canvases. They sell quite quickly, so I never have any to put on my website, so I figured I should really build some up. I'm going to start out squeezing my paint. This is still green yellow. So the names for these are actually in foreign languages, and I've never found the actual English name anywhere, so I'm sort of translating as it goes. Still the green yellow is obviously still green yellow. So there's that, and then we're going to go for quinacridone rose, which gives me my really fierce pinks. So squeeze a little bit of that out. Cad red. There is going to be lots of blues and things, but I'm not even going to think about them yet. I'm going to always try and get the warm colours in the canvas first. It's very difficult to put warm colours on top of cold colours. You can put, well, this is, other painters may find it completely different, but my way is just put the warm colours on first, and then I can use things like reds to act as interference between warm colours and cold colours. So I'm going to get this big flat brush, make sure it's fairly dry. I quite like using these flats. This one seems to be missing quite a lot, but it's quite an old one, for the yellows. This is a really rich yellow, if you can, and I'm just going to whack it straight on like that. And this will get calmed down. It always goes on really brightly to start. Make sure it goes right to the edges, because there's nothing worse when the painting's done. It's quite often going in a little tray frame. If I don't put it to the edges, the canvas looks like a big crap. I'm starting to think, is this the right yellow actually? There's a lot. We've got some really blue going in here. I'm not quite sure where that crept in from, whether it was the brush or the palette type maybe. Alright, should be okay. So I'm just gonna run out that very quickly. I know why. It's on the edge of the tube. This is me wiping the tube and just getting other colours in the paint. Not clever. So anyway, it's been since I did an actual painting on here, at least 6 months. Probably longer, more like 8 months I think. 9 months. You know, my lovely brother gave me a really good microphone for Christmas, which is what I wanted to use for this. But because something about it sort of has been scaring me about setting it up, so it kind of stopped me from doing videos altogether, which is a bit stupid. Anyway, I dug it out today. I don't have it on yet because it's charging. It's charging upstairs, obviously. And yeah, but I shall have that soon. And the sound will hopefully be a better quality. Right, we're going to go straight in here with this really bright pink. It looks kind of red straight away because it's mixing nails. That maybe a slight mistake already, never mind. And I'm going to take this pink up and round. And say, I kind of use pinks and reds to run interference between the yellows a lot. If you're going to put blue up next to yellow, you're going to get green, and I don't really want, yeah, you can have a little bit of green in your sky, but a bit too much is kind of lethal. I probably spend half the time talking about mixing blues and yellows. It seems to obsess me quite a lot. I guess all painters have their little obsessions. So it's been a busy 6 months, we'll say. It's been a busy few weeks. Summer holidays at the moment, which are always killer for me. But it's yeah, pretty hard to run a household, organise kids and work. But this year I seem to have sent them into after school club rather a lot, which I feel a bit sorry for them for. They haven't had much of a summer because they spent the whole time in school club. But they do have fun at it at least. You know, they're going to the beach, they're going to the park, they're playing all day long. They're probably having a lot more fun than if they were at home with me, and I just kind of will end up decorating the house and let them play their iPads. So right now though, they're off in the Highlands with their dad, having an amazing time kayaking and swimming and playing with their cousins. And I just kind of thought I would take a few days to myself to just have some time to work and spend alone. Yeah, you don't get a lot of that these days, do you? This is looking disgusting, I know. It will change, it will change, it will all calm down. Or not. I mean, it's a long time since I've talked, since I was painting. And I may have lost the knack of it a wee bit. How to do this. And I'm not quite sure what I'm doing today. Doing some kind of odd. Right, I think I'm going to take that red over the canvas, but with a little bit of white in it. I have yet another palette plate over here from things I was using earlier, so I'm just kind of picking up extra colours of that where I can. Is this the right colour to put on? I'm not sure if it is actually. I need some cad red and just going to shuffle that on. Yeah, well, one of the reasons I realised I had to start doing Blether and Paint again was I've been starting a newsletter recently, and I thought it would be just a really nice idea to put in it a little link to the video. So if you're seeing this via the newsletter, then yay, that's worked. I just thought it's a nice way to give a little bit of extra content to the newsletter, and also spread the word about this a wee bit, because I think the people that did see it really liked it, but not many people have seen it. So it's a question of getting it out there a wee bit more. I know it's one of these things you start doing and you really enjoy doing, but you know it is just a kind of, this is just for fun. It's not. It's not, I'm not going to be a rich and famous YouTuber, much to my children's dismay. They would love that. They're so envious of the fact that I have a YouTube channel. Money, we want a YouTube channel. Yeah, right, not happening. Youth of today, the highlight of their aspirations is to have their own YouTube channel. I don't know why I'm using this tiny little brush. I'm not quite sure why I'm painting anything bright red either, but I think it's going to be, I think it'll look quite fun when I get things on top of it. So I'll just go with it. And even with the children away and no deadlines and 4 days just to paint and do nothing, I'm still feeling a little bit guilty about being down here because my little dog's upstairs. And I've kind of left her up there most of the day because she basically likes sleeping in her bed, and that's all she does. And then she gets to the point where she wants me to throw a toy for her for hours, which is fine, but that's actually not very good when you're painting. I have a dog banging against your leg going, throw my pig for me. So I want to finish this fairly quickly so I can take her for a wee walk. Big pile of red. So that's fun. Yeah, this is really going to be quite a dark painting, which is why I don't really mind putting all these really super dark reds on at the start. actually, I think it's cotton canvas, which I'm more likely to normally use linen than canvas. Wait, this linen, it's just a really, really rough texture compared to the normal stuff I use. Who knows, paint companies seem to change their mind all the time about what they're doing at the moment. And being able to get canvas tall is a bit of a miracle. This is my little cheat of getting, people wonder quite a lot why I get my paintings to really glow. And it's because I kind of add this yellow on the canvas and then I just take it off again, but by that point it's really soaked into the grain of the canvas, so the canvas just looks really glowy. Just always lovely. But that bright yellow was disturbing me, so I had to take it off, even though it's not that point in the painting time to take it off. Right, so now we need to start adding a bit blue, which is quite scary on top of all that yellow and orange. It could be a big disaster. I think I might just get yet another palette plate. I'm going to leave that bright yellow orange one there. From here. It's quite late in the afternoon now, so I'm also going to have a little bit of wine. It is Friday. I'm home alone. It's my holidays. I need to justify it. Right. Normally I would use Prussian blue. I love Prussian blue. At the moment though, I'm kind of, that's indigo. That's Prussian blue. I'm looking for maybe like a blue, phthalo blue red is what this is. It's a kind of royal blue really, but it's quite nice for working with purples, I find. And I'm going to squirt a load of white out now. Maybe time to get a bit of white on to lighten it up a wee bit, because the minute I put this blue on, I'm using the same brush that I used for the red, so when I add the blue, that'll sort of soak through and it won't. What I want the red and blue to do is not to mix in the canvas too much, but to sort of sit on top of each other and soak through each other. You can kind of see, I'm putting this blue on and it's starting to look a bit purple. It does to me, it might not look like that on the screen because I'm not sure how good the colour pickup is. Every now and again I'm just dipping in my little tub of thinner here, never too much. Oh, there we go, get that blue one down. Because I've used the red brush, the more I sort of brush down, the less blue there is in the brush, until I sort of go back and refill it again, which is quite nice really. My way of sort of blending on canvas basically. I want to get a light up the top of the sky here, and then to get kind of darky purple underneath, so that red and blue on top of each other is just going to work fine to do that. Keep bringing the blue down from the top, a bit more blue in this one. So it's been a busy few months, 7 months since I last did a Blether and Paint. I probably did a quick one around the time of my flash sale. If you follow me at all, you might know about that. I had a flash sale last month, which was fantastic, really successful. I did a little studio tour to show people what was going to be coming up just before that. And I think I probably stuck that on YouTube as part of Blether and Paint. So you may know about that. So that's sort of getting all the paintings sent out after that. It's been taking up most of my time. And then I've got several gallery shows coming up. And I keep doing work for them. It's selling it. So it's not ideal. So we're starting to get the shapes of the colours in now. really dramatic sky. This is lovely. I didn't get too far and kind of lose that drama. So I think I might switch back to a weir brush now. This one here. I'm not in my usual scabby sweatshirt because it's summer and it's quite nice to actually be warm in the studio for once. It's not really freezing in here. So we're going back to the sort of quinacridone pink and a bit this, maybe a little bit of red as well. And I'm just going to put in this horizon line down here. In the background here we always have Fife. I don't always paint the Fife in. Try to stay fairly simple with the water. Just get that idea of it. Maybe a wee bit darker over the other side again. So yeah, I've been building up a wee collection of paintings for various gallery shows coming up. I have worked with Torrance Gallery, that's the gallery I did my solo show with in January, and I really love working with them. Molly Mackey Gallery, which is a really nice little gallery in Peebles. I haven't worked with before, but Moy and I met at the Borders Art Fair just the last weekend before the pandemic hit. I'm still looking back and I can't believe it actually went ahead. So we met there and she very kindly asked me to exhibit, and we've finally found a date for it, so that's going to happen end of August. So I've been trying to pull together a nice little collection for her. I need a bit more red in this. But yeah, as I say, I do have this problem. I get excited, so I post on social media, and then people say, "Can I buy this?" And do you know what? I'm rubbish at saying no. I'm rubbish at saying no, you can't buy it, you have to wait until I sell it through this X gallery. So I find it quite hard to build up these little sort of mini collections. It takes a little bit of time. So I'm just stopping to look, and I think I might have to stop and have a wee standy backy look. I'm not used to concentrating on talking when I paint. I don't know how I ever did it, to be quite frank, but I did, so. So yeah, the plan was to get all the gallery work done before this weekend, and then I could just, excuse my cough, I really enjoy just playing a little bit, but of course that didn't quite happen. Right, I'm just going to pause it for a wee minute, get a glass of water and take a look. Again, back after a wee look. I'm looking at my reference photo down here, and I've got this really nice pink-ish here, but here it's just gone a bit wrong, so I'm going to take this out and I'm going to try and add pink in because it's just a bit too yellow. I don't even know if this is going to work at all, so we'll give it a shot though. Take it all the way along here. I do just love it when I do that moment of rubbing the paint off. You get a beautiful glow. But I do want to put some pink on, so I'm going to get a fresh brush in this little one here, go back to, oh, I'm on a blue palette, go back to my quinacridone, which I've lost now. Just pop some over here, and I want a wee bit white in it, not too much. Thick enough that it'll sit on top of the bits that I've kind of rubbed off. If that makes any sense, but I still want it quite bright. I always worry that my paints aren't bright enough, and then I look at some paintings afterwards and go, Jesus Christ, that pink is bright. So actually, I think I want to put a little bit cad red in this as well, just to make sure. The problem with the cad red is mixed with white, it makes a gorgeous pink, but somehow it just doesn't come across as bright as I want it to. Let's try this anyway, let's see what happens. Yeah, not totally convinced that is working. There's too much white in. Oh dear, no, not sure this is working. So yeah, as I was saying, trying to develop a wee collection for Roy Mackey. Last week's challenge as well was Food Fine Art, which is one of my favourite galleries to work with. It's a local gallery to me. Alan has got a stunning list of artists, so it's always a bit of a thrill to be invited to be part of it, because it's you know, there's some really seriously big names that you're exhibiting alongside with, and that's always quite exciting. I've known Alan at FIDRA a long time, and he's been really instrumental in helping my career along in many ways. But so I wanted to get a really nice piece for him for his show. So that's been sort of 3 different galleries, sort of roughly around the same kind of in July, August deadline basically. So end of July, early August for work. So I've really been pushing that and trying not to sell things, but things just sell anyway. So I shouldn't complain about that, because let's face it, it's a good thing. That's the problem, is I can see that there's actually a little bit of bright yellow in there where the sun was, and now I've taken it off and put that on, and not getting that yellow through. So I have to try and put some yellow on top now as well. This is just not working out very well. Never mind. Never mind. Dear. Never mind. Okay, so the working down here, it seems to be a bit gummy, that yellow. I don't know. I think I'm just going to have to put some white on top. I have to be quite careful if you're using white, just to, it can be, you kind of need it, but it can really dull things down quite a lot. So you have to be, and also once it's on, it's really hard to get rid of. So I have to be quite sparing with the use of white, and sort of clever about when you use it, really. Which I've probably not been tonight. Yeah, so this has got a really complicated little skyline round about here, this painting, which is what I wanted to paint, because it is complex and it's interesting. I don't want to overly detail it and then lose what's it's always one of these things that, you know, you get overly complicated and then everybody comments on it and say, oh, it looks just like a photo, and you think, oh no. I took it too far. I suppose I should be happy that I can do photographic painting, but I'm not. I want it to look like a painting, I don't want it to look like a photo. So I just want to layers of sky, as I say, without trying to get too overly precise about it, but give it a little bit of depth and richness. Move back to this brush here and put some kind of darky stuff back in because down here I really want this kind of, there is a line of kind of bright blue and the bright light in the sea, but also put some whites in the sky here and now. Just a little bit stripey over here, and I need to level it out a wee bit. So it's this one, hopefully it's going to go up on my website, and I won't need to use this for gallery shows because I've not put any new work up on the website for ages. As I say, if I'm sort of compiling it for the galleries, I kind of tend to hold it back till they're having their show and not put it up on my website. So it kind of means I've not put any new work up on my website for ages, but I've got into such a good habit of putting all the new work up, and then I just haven't put anything up for months, which is a bit rubbish. Right, that sea's getting a bit too far the other way. This is a dry brush with no paint on it. So I'm just trying to blend the sea down because there's nothing worse than a sea that's just a bit too stripey. It's a personal bugbear. Now, there's still too much yellow going on, and I've got a choice of either to put white on top of it or to wipe it off and then paint on top. And I'm not quite sure which to do right now. Just try painting some more of these dark clouds in a wee bit. Just get that feeling of these really dark clouds going down. I kind of feel it's painting the Craig Leaf. I'm just going to show you the reference photo again. I mean, it was a stunning morning where I got up at ridiculous o'clock and just went to the beach and watched the sunrise, which, as you can imagine, at this time of year was really 4 a.m. And Craig Leaf just looked almost like a little dragon against this fiery sky, and that's what I kind of want to get across in this painting. I think I might just darken up the sky a wee bit. Add in a little bit of blue up here, but I think I have to mix that blue with some red. A little bit too blue. The light in here is not helping because that actually looks really blue now. I don't want it to be really blue. I want it to be a wee bit darker. I want to take the darks down into here as well. And get a wine brush. You can see why I spend so much time brush cleaning. I just get a different brush out every 2 minutes to do the thing I want to do. But I want to just get some dark in the sea. And I'm using 3 palette plates now. Oh god. A lot of cleaning up for a little quick painting. Just with that sense of darkness kind of across the sky. It's got to be done quickly. It can only be done once. And then I take this brush and add some more darks in just down here and give it a little bit of texture. got cloud in. It's a little bit darker. Starting to get there, but I think I need some. I'm thinking it's a little bit too. This is me. I use these dry brushes just to soften the colours and blend them. I'm really a fan of kind of too many visible brush strokes. I can imagine lots of other artists would say that I blend too much almost. I don't know if that's a self-taught thing or what, but it's just what makes sense to me and what looks right to me, basically. So I want the darkness of Fife along here a wee bit. Just here. A little bit of dark line here. Actually a little bit darker than you see there. And now, there's some nice rocks along there. Maybe a bit dark along here. So now, I have to put the island in. I'm going to use a little trick I do for this is I outline the island in a kind of really bright orangey red because it's backlit. If you look at something like that, if it's a black silhouette on a painting, it just looks really weird and odd. So if I do it first in bright orangey red and yellow, and then paint on top of it in the dark silhouette that it is, I might get it actually looking kind of vaguely right. So here it goes. You know, I must have painted all these islands in the Forth hundreds and hundreds of times each. I guess if you're not from here, you'd probably come here and you'd paint the Bash Rock. That's the obvious one. That's what everyone paints. But I think all our islands deserve a little shot. And this one here, Craigley's a beast. It's not bonny. I also I kind of feel sorry for it. It's the big ugly sister of all the islands. But on this particular occasion, it's kind of a one. It's a big ugly beast of an island, like it needs that fierce sunset. So I'm quite glad it's here, doing its thing, doing its Craigley weird thing, being a bit butch. I possibly anthropomorphise these islands slightly too much. So I'm going to try and finish up pretty soon. Hopefully this island comes out and then I can stand back and go, that's pretty much it done. Usually when I finish painting, I don't seem to do this for kind of slightly obvious reasons when I'm doing a YouTube video, but usually my process is I'll stop it, I'll take a photo, I'll Photoshop it to try and get it to exactly match the painting. But the minute I look at the photo, I can see flaws that I don't always see in the studio, probably because I'm quite short-sighted. And when I stand back and look at a painting, unless I've got my glasses, which I don't know, I don't really like wearing my glasses, even to look at my work, which I should do. Yeah, so I don't notice things until I take a photo. So I'm just trying to quickly clean this brush. So I'm just going to go off screen for a second because this is where my little brush cleaning tub is. I'm just going to use the same brush and then I'm going to use this really dark blue and red together to create. It's always good, even if you're making a dark, just use the colours that you've been using already in the painting. So, you know, I'm not going for a a brown or a Payne's grey or black. I'm just mixing that pure cad red and the blue together to give myself a really, really rich dark brown. And then I can pop this on here, and I'm kind of painting it inside the lines. I'll blend it in a wee second. So yeah, normally I would stand back, take that photo and sit down and look at it, look at the painting, look at the photo, look at the painting, look at the photo, and at that point I'd get up half a dozen times to make little changes. So that's one of the flaws of doing a YouTube video, taking it to start to end, is that I don't do that bit of the process. Because I just don't know how I could quite film that. And this is not how I normally do this bit either. Oh well. Okay. So I'm trying it differently today. So I'm just going to blend right up to that red. Because I don't actually want that red showing. I just kind of want the hint of it just to soften the edge of the island. I just take it in a little bit there. And here. Here. A little bit more red on. Just take this down here. Ooh, big lump of something there. More red, and actually probably need a bit of yellow around here. Dark down this bit here, because it's dark side the moon side of the island really, and I kind of want to swish over a wee bit to get that effect of darker water underneath it a wee bit. And I'm going to have to just seam line over, and since I've lost my fife, I did put in air there, seems to have disappeared. I'll have to put that back in up here. I can hear my neighbours outside, so I'll get self-conscious and stop talking. I'll have to send them a wee WhatsApp and explain when I'm talking to myself. So, nearly there. Just want to build up this bit down here. This is really thick. Oh, I must have the right brush. I've used every brush under the sun, but I don't have the right brush to do this particular bit. Getting there, definitely getting there. Always a problem is when you put dark on and then you paint up close to it, and then it just sort of spreads into everything down here. colour. Sorry, I'm going a bit quiet because I'm just focusing on getting these right little last minute moves. I sometimes go from the really tiny little movements to the really big movements that just you kind of get swept along and think, oh, I have to do this, and this, and I have to do that. Made no sense to it. Oh well, never mind. Right, I think that could be us almost there. I'm not quite happy with this side of the sea, though. We'll try a little bit of. No, that's not. That's quite what I want. I think I've gone too dark here. When you mix them with a really big brush and 3 different palette plates, you pick up all sorts of weird colours, which is not what I need to do. If I've got a palette knife, which is kicking about, I might have to give it a wee clean. What I want to do now is just get a bit dark, really dark, and there's just a little spit of rock along here, which I quite like to put in, but I don't think that's going to be dark enough. So I'm going to have to mix up a bigger bit of dark over here. Okay, I think I need to take out a wee bit more of this. I think I need to get a fresh brush in actually, I'm going to leave it white. Pretty dog, she's been like, oh, I need a poo. Sitting up there going, I need a poo. But it's kind of weird one where I'm actually using the white to almost darken it down because the glow of that yellow is too much. So if I add a wee bit of white on it, actually dulls it down because white, as I said earlier, quite often just dulls things down a wee bit. I don't want to take away the glowy completely, but just soften it a wee bit. And maybe a wee bit more right down here. Maybe not. It's just messed up that bit a wee bit. Not working very well. Yeah, I'm just getting hideous colours in there. Different brush. Different brush. No, I should have touched the C. C was doing fine. Right, I think that's us done for now. So one thing I never do at the end of Blether and Paint is actually let you have a little look at the picture at the end very much. So I'm going to take the camera around and just show you it quickly. Here we go. So this is it. It'll obviously come up as a little picture at the very end, and if you've got this for the newsletter, you'll be the first people to see this painting because it's a little bit of a newsletter exclusive. So hopefully you like it. It will be up on the website as soon as the newsletter's out, available to buy. Yeah, if you want to come up for a name for it, that'd be good. I'm sure we'll come up for a name for it. I really feel it's something dragony about it, so it might be some kind of dragon name. I don't know. Just that floating field of fire behind it.